Hello.
Hi,
My name is Jasmine,
I'm Andrea,
and we're Natural Be Ewe Yarns.
coming to you on this beautiful sunny day.
And it is our Sunday sip and stitch.
So we're here to show you what we've been knitting, what we've completed, and what's down the road.
Exactly. But first of all, I hope you have something to stitch and something to sip.
Jasmine made us chai lattes.
Cheers.
Cheers. And we have, look at this Valentine's cups.
Yes, we are doing our sip and stitch halfway through the month of February, which is unusual for us. And if you missed our podcast, we do apologize. It's just been a really strange month with the weather, and
well, we had 1.5 meters of snow, all in 3 days.
And that was just at the beginning of February, so we had to postpone things for a bit and cancel some of our socials as well, as Nova Scotia and in particular Pictou County and up in Cape Breton, we all dealt with what was I don't know.
A big surprise.
Yeah. The biggest storm in 20 years, they're saying. So here we are, later in the month on a beautiful sunny day with sip and stitch. And what are you working on today?
I'm working on just a pair of vanilla socks. I have not gotten very far. And you're working on a pair of vanilla socks as well, right?
Yes, this is sort of a basic sock pattern, but it has a slouchy cuff. So 4 inches of ribbing for the cuff, and then totaled with 10 inches till you get to the heel flap. So
they're for me, aren't they?
We have not said that. No, I chose the color for me, but we'll see how that goes, eh? This is not our yarn, as in we didn't dye this ourselves. Andrea is the natural dyer, and we do have some of our beautiful yarn on the table. But this is Superba Fair Isle, which you can knit a basic vanilla pair of socks, and the way the yarn is dyed, it knits up as if you've done some pretty crazy Fair Isle. Not just self-striping, but with beautiful design elements throughout that look like you have stranded your knitting with different colors throughout. This is the version, they call it number 2, but it is purple, pink, and green. There is blue in there as well.
Yeah, and I decided to try this one, which has oranges, a bit of lime green, off-white, and charcoal. I thought that was dark brown, but it's actually charcoal.
It's charcoal, yeah. It's almost black, actually.
Yeah, and it's the number 3, but it says that
they don't list the colors on the band, but we list them on the website because that's how they appear from our distributor. So that would be yellow, orange, and brown, I believe.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, it's quite interesting. And there's a couple other colors, right?
Yeah.
Well, we've got at least 7.
We do have quite a few colors. I can't reach it without getting up. We put it too far away. So this is one we've already knit.
Yeah, and this one's got the purples, gray, a little bit of teal, and gold. So, but I found that it repeats every 8 inches.
That was number 1, I believe.
Right. So when you're knitting, I actually by accident made 2 identical socks because I just happened to start at the same spot in the color change sequence, but I figured out that it was an 8-inch repeat. And so if you want to match your socks, all you need to do is what?
Well, I didn't want you to put it down yet.
Okay.
So all you have to do to match your socks is
measure how far the repeat is, and then you can kind of just go to that part of the pattern in the yarn. If you're not at exactly where it repeats again for the second sock, you can just cut some of that yarn out of your skein. Because there's more than enough to do a pair of socks.
I might do that with these too, though sometimes mismatched socks are fun. Before you put this down, I wanted to say that this is the speeder sock. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. And as you can see, none of the yarn is broken for the heel, and that's because it's a matter of increasing and then decreasing, which creates a little pocket for the heel.
Right.
Slightly different way of doing a sock.
It's not reinforced the same way, that's all.
Right.
But I find that heels and toes tend to go quicker no matter which style of heel you use. I've ended up darning the socks.
Which is cool. Visible mending is really in at the moment.
Yeah.
Maybe you can set that down and I'll lean forward and grab some more colorways because while we're on it, why don't we be on it?
Right.
So this is colorway number 4 and it's purples and teals and a little bit of brown. And then this one's really fun and happy. It reminds me of spring. It'd be great for Easter socks if you're thinking of knitting for someone. This is known as number 6 and it's your purple, yellow, and pink. You've got peach tones in there too.
It would also make, like, if people are wearing fingerless gloves for Easter or anything, that'd be cute with little frillies on it.
It would, actually. Wonderful point.
Or even an Easter bonnet.
Exactly.
Anyway, sock yarn is always...
yeah, we wanted to give some inspiration for February, right?
We also dye sock yarn. It's on our Eco Base, which is 80% pure merino and 20% recycled nylon. We try to keep everything in the shop as sustainable as possible to give people that option. It's not always easy to find sustainable yarns.
No, it's not.
Right. So.
But it is important because, you know, you can't be a yarn snob and hate acrylic, but then at the same time only work with superwash, which itself is a process that, you know, renders the wool machine washable, but it strips it of all its natural all the natural benefits and strengths of the wool itself.
Because it has a resin coating.
Right.
So, anyway.
Should we talk about what we're wearing?
Yes. Jasmine.
What?
Tell us about what you're wearing.
Oh, I thought you were going to introduce it and then you stopped. So
I forget the name of it.
This is called All Wrapped Up in Cables.
Ah, yes.
And in order to show it better, maybe I'll move the serpentina, which I'm excited to talk about in a while. No.
Okay.
I don't want to stand. I'm wearing the All Wrapped Up in Cables. It is a long strip of...
It's like a narrower shawl, but it wraps around you from the back to the front, crisscrosses, and then it has sleeves. So
right,
it won't
so that
fall
it
off.
won't fall off. It is a bit of a trick. Okay, I will stand up, but then my head will be cut off, so remember me. Okay. So it has a bit of a gap here where the armband, again, the armband connects to the opposing shoulder. And putting it on in such a way that it sits nicely can be a little bit of a struggle. But I really love that motif with the lace there that looks like leaves. And it's a fantastic way to wear your linen dresses like I'm wearing, which is a summer dress, into the winter and fall and such. So
the reason, love it. Let's talk about why we wanted to mention it.
Well, because it's made with the most exquisite yarn.
It is. It is. Llama.
Yeah, we just keep trying to talk over each other, which is creating some weird pauses.
Sorry.
It's a blend of llama and merino in a worsted weight. It's 100% natural, so there is no superwash process and there's no dye. It's all undyed natural wool.
It's blended from the various colors of the llama and merino to give you some beautiful natural tones.
I'm going to put them up here.
Is this the one that
I
you're
think
wearing?
this is fawn, which is what you knit with.
Yes.
We have, I think, 7 or 8 different tones in this.
Yes.
But the yarn is unfortunately discontinued, so we won't be able to get any more. But it's one of the nicest yarns we've knit with from
it's
Estelle
really
brand.
nice and soft.
We tend to prefer our own stuff because naturally dyed stuff is even softer. But as this is undyed and it's mixed with llama, it's a real delight to work with. And as you can see, it has great stitch definition.
It does. It's perfect for cables and lace.
Yes, and I think it would make a lovely cardigan as we start to transition from the winter into spring, or a shawl if you want something to wrap around your shoulders. And if you want to create this, again, it's the All Wrapped Up in Cables by Knititude.
Right, and she's got 2 or 3 different variations of this style of shawl. This one is a little bit more involved than knitting, but there's one that's quite plain and another one that's just got eyelets, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds about right. She has lots of variations.
Mm-hmm.
So get the yarn while you can, because we don't know how long we'll have it on the shelf.
Right. So now it's my turn?
Yeah, do you want to talk about what you're wearing?
Sure.
Okay.
You introduce it.
Well, this is Andrea, and she is modeling her very latest design, which she has called the
Maritimer.
Maritimer Slipover. It's a lot similar in style to the Maritimer Tea Cozy, with the panel of cabling that runs down the middle.
Cabling down the front.
But we thought, why should our teapot be so dressed up and we don't have something just as fancy?
So the bottom is a ribbing, and then the top yoke from the sleeve openings up is done in garter stitch, and it has a little turtleneck, just like the teapot cozy.
So it's knit from the bottom up, like you said. There is it's a ribbing all the way around 3x3, right?
Yeah.
Except for the panel of it that runs the middle.
Yes.
And then you split for the upper body and sleeves, right?
Yes.
And you knit them flat?
Yes.
Garter stitch?
So garter stitch is the easiest thing to knit flat, because by that point you've done the body, you just want to get to the neck. And so we'll continue the chart, but we'll do garter stitch on either side, and that also keeps the sleeves from rolling and needing a finish.
They it could just because you just blocked
It's
them.
the way I blocked it.
But they have a nice little swoop to them that I think is cute. I think it's very cute. I like the way that the yarn sits too. This is the Shetland, the Eco Shetland worsted. I've knit a cardigan in it. I think it's a fantastic yarn for
this is it here.
The weight of it, but also just the way it knits up. It has
and it's got really good yardage.
It has this, it looks like a natural tweed effect. There's just like flecks of slightly different tones of the same shade.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like this one looks like there's almost a little bit of a reddy purple in it at parts and a little bit of a blue.
You can see that on the...
I don't know if it picks up really well on the camera. Yeah, you can see that. It's almost a heathered
it's
look.
Not, yeah, it's almost heathered.
Yeah, not tweed. Sorry.
No.
Heathered.
The gold does that.
Yeah. We had someone who comes in for some of our knit classes just finished knitting her first scarf with the Eco Shetland worsted.
And it looks really nice.
In this color called Maize. We have more colors than we brought to the table. We just brought a few of our favorites. This is called Coast, like coastal waters. We thought that was appropriate.
This is the one that I used, right?
Yeah.
Burgundy.
Mm-hmm. I've got lavender.
And
my purple lovers.
There's, where the heck's the name of it? Alpine.
Alpine is such a nice
name. I know, I think I would like to have one.
It's somewhere between a forest green and
an aqua.
Is aqua the one I'm looking for?
Or teal.
Teal. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, it's such a lovely color.
It's a bluey green, but dark.
Right. So, of course, you don't have to use this yarn. Any worsted weight yarn will do, but these are really good yardage for $1.
There's 275 meters in 100 grams, whereas, is this worsted?
It's worsted as well, yeah.
It's 250, so this one's more generous yardage than this one.
Right.
And sometimes that makes a bit of a difference if you're wanting to make a garment longer, or
like if you wanted to make sleeves on that.
Right.
You don't have a sleeve version yet.
No. So I made one of the larger sizes, of course, and I used 4 skeins. Mm-hmm. But if I had used a yarn that had less yardage, I would have needed 5. Mm-hmm. So I will I haven't figured out the exact yardage or each size, because that's where test knitters come in.
Right.
Right? So we are looking for test knitters. We're starting to kind of put the word out. And so if you like something that's a pop over and warm, just to be in the house, I like it without sleeves, because I find I just need something over the shoulders and on my back. And sometimes sweaters aren't quite enough in the neck, because the neckline's too open and you want your neck warm, so that's the other thing. And even if you have it on under a coat, then you don't necessarily need a scarf.
I was gonna say, if you want to keep your neck warm, a shawl always helps. But this keeps it warm right up to your neckline and your ears, right?
Yeah.
It looks so cozy. So again, that's the Maritimer slip over. It is in the test knitter phase, and if you'd like to be a test knitter, please go to our website and use the contact us form to submit an inquiry, and we'll get back to you.
Yes.
So we've covered what we're wearing, what we're working on. Should we cover other projects we finished recently?
Yes.
Like, most notably, you just designed this, and a little while back I designed the late bloomer headband.
Yes. Let's put that one up.
Right. The late bloomer headband was to match my late bloomer mittens. And during the knit along, we had suggested a different headband that would be complementary, but I wanted it to really pop by using the same idea of a bobble or a knot stitch, and then embroider the flowers in such a way that they met at the edges and looked like they were blooming into one another.
Well, and the other thing is this headband is doubled. It's knit in the round rather than having to sew it and have a seam on the inside. So
right, so it's like a tube sock kind of idea. It's double, it's knit by holding mohair and merino fingering double, so it's already DK weight, but then it's so that you can get to the embroidery. The whole thing itself is like a tube, and the two ends are the ones that you stitch together, you weave together in the end in this crisscross fashion. The pattern was free for the first weekend of its release, and we got over 600 downloads, which was exciting. We were on the Hot Right Now page.
We were number 2 on Ravelry.
I know.
Which was like, whoa.
So we couldn't quite bump Unit TO out of there with their cardigan.
No, that was a gorgeous.
It was a gorgeous cardigan, but we tried.
Yeah. we were near the top, and that in itself, it doesn't matter how long that lasts. That's just exciting.
It was really exciting.
Yeah.
Of course, this was when we were having our torrential, I don't know if torrential is the word for it, our blizzard. So we were a little preoccupied that weekend, but the pattern is now available for purchase on Ravelry. But if you'd like to purchase one of our late bloomer mitten kits, the pattern is a free PDF with that as well, so that you can make the mittens and the headband to match.
Yes, and the mittens are not our pattern.
No, that pattern is sold separately.
Do you remember the name of the?
Kristen Leggett? I believe that's right.
Yeah.
She is either owner or somehow involved in the Knit Cafe in Toronto. Yeah. So we'll just pop this headband away.
So yeah,
she's gone.
So if you want to knit her mittens and want a matching headband, you can get this headband pattern. And if you want to knit the headband but would also like matching mittens, you can get her pattern. We have the kits that make both.
Right. Speaking of mittens, should I jump into another mitten that I love? Okay, so
these are really cool too.
I knit these last year, but mittens never go out of style.
And we still need them here in Nova Scotia.
Yeah, we thought we were going to get away with a really nice, breezy, warm winter, but that's not the case at the moment. So because it's still a winter wonderland, it's the perfect time to knit yourself a basic mitten. This one is a very vanilla mitten pattern with just a couple stripes of garter halfway up. You can almost not even tell because there is so much going on with this yarn.
It's gorgeous yarn. It's hand
dyed, hand spun.
Yes.
By a woman in Uruguay. It's a part of Manos de Uruguay. They're Serpentina. They partner with women in Uruguay so that they are paid a fair wage for their artisanal work, and it's considered art yarn because it's thick and thin. So even though it's a chunky or Aran weight,
well, because it's hand spun too,
right?
It is an art yarn, and even though we were a little disappointed after the fact to find out that it's superwash, but the fact that it supports this collective of women that are able to make a living wage, we continue to carry it, and we actually are really happy to carry it.
Mm-hmm. Are you sure it's superwash though? Mine just says 100% wool. So maybe some of them are and some of them aren't? No, this one says superwash. You're right. They just mislabeled one. So that means you can throw them in the wash, but because they are single ply, hand spun.
I wouldn't.
No.
No.
That you do need to use a cleaner on them every once in a while just to get that super fuzz off, but they're so gorgeous. And these are the new colors we have out.
This one's really cute. We've never had this color before.
No. Do you want to read the tag and tell them the name?
This one, I'd love to. Rigoberta.
Rigoberta, yeah. I don't know who that is. They're named after famous women in history, a lot of the time artists, but this one is named after Joan of Arc with the gray and purple and charcoal. And then this one here is named, where is your name?
On the white sticker.
Oh, Sarah Bernhardt. So I believe that was a painter as well. She was a painter. So this is lovely. It's soft grays and sort of like pastel tones of turquoise and a little bit of fuchsia in there. Really fun to knit with.
They are. And Jasmine actually knit these initially, this one, to go with the hat that she designed.
Right.
The Born Trippy hat.
I'll show that off in a second. Here, I'll pull it in. In case you're wondering the pattern name for these mittens, it is on our Instagram and Facebook, but they're called the Kahlo mittens after Frida Kahlo. It is a free pattern on Ravelry and Estelle's website.
And this is the hat that they go with. So, matching, mismatched, coordinating pattern mittens.
And I think it actually coordinates even better with this colorway.
Oh, it does too.
But really, any of them. And of course, you don't have to knit the hat in pink. We do have hat kit options for, I think there is a dark pink or like a burgundy tone. There's a gold tone. And I think there might be one skein of gray left. It's like a brownie gray.
That would go with Joan of Arc.
It would, definitely.
Yes.
So this is a slouchy hat. You can fold up the brim so that it doesn't slouch, but you do have that option. And it's called slightly twisted because you're manipulating the stitches. It looks as if you have done some cabling, but it does not require a cable needle. So I had a lot of fun designing that.
And what about that hat?
Oh, I guess this is my design, but I haven't written it up yet. It is your basic ribbed hat. And it also goes with some of the Serpentina yarn. I knit this in our DK Lush, which is an alpaca wool blend. It has also been discontinued, but we have quite a bit of it still left in case you wish to purchase it. It is dyed using all natural dyes by the artist extraordinaire here. And I did a color block. So I have yarn left over. I'm going to do a matching cowl. But again, this could be a slouchy hat, or if you want a double thick brim for your ears like me.
It's funny because the same hat pattern will work for Jasmine and I. She likes the slouchy version. I'll put her down and double it up to have warmer ears.
And that's a perfect way to double it up and have warmer ears. And then, of course, I just did one of our all-natural fur pom-poms. Yes. Oh my God, I can't speak.
And the other hat has the fur pom-pom as well.
Yeah.
It's made from upcycled old fur coats.
Which is really cool.
It keeps them from going to the landfill, and it's a great alternative for an acrylic, petroleum-based, regular pom-pom.
Synthetic products have their place, but we do have to watch our footprint, sort of, our carbon footprint, because it does take petroleum that needs to be, what's that called, fracked out of the earth. And so anyway, we have to keep that in mind when we're buying things too, what we're purchasing and what went into it.
But it also means that if you have petroleum-based products in your stash,
don't throw them away.
Don't throw them away just so that you're doing the right thing, because keeping it from going to the landfill is also the right thing.
Right. Knitting something for a loved one or someone who is expecting a baby, or anyone special in your life who won't know how to treat natural wool products. That's a perfect way to get rid of some of your blends if you
Yeah.
if you decide you don't want that for yourself anymore.
We don't have any on the table today, but we do carry and plan on carrying other weights of a 50-50 cotton and wool blend, which not only is wonderful for things in the summer because it's cool in the evenings, or if you're at the beach and having your nightly stroll, um, it is machine washable on a gentle cycle, and then you need to lay it flat to dry. So there is some of the blends are a lot more friendly as far as using the washing machine.
And that's a GOTS certified product, right? Which I tell people is the new gold standard in whether or not something is considered an environmentally friendly product, because they have to go through a quite intensive process to get certified. And it's in every stage of processing, it has to do with water treatment facilities, and it has to do with how they treat the animals or the fields in which they get the natural fibers, and it has to do with how they pay and manage worker relationships. So it's like getting fair trade coffee.
Right. And it's symbolized with this little green sweater in the circle. So any yarns that have that symbol, and other products out there in the world, there are clothing that are made with GOTS certified fabrics and that kind of thing. So we're hoping that we're seeing more of a trend towards that in the commercial yarns. A very small trend really, but it's coming. And for those of you that are interested in becoming more sustainable in your craft,
and in your wardrobe, right? If you're making things for yourself, not just accessories, but like some of the beautiful sweaters and cardigans we make will last a lifetime. Heirloom pieces, really, if you think about it. So,
and this was a GOTS certified, wasn't it? Or doesn't have the symbol?
No, it wasn't GOTS certified, but it is very natural and healthy. Okay, so
next.
We were going to talk about, before I talk about the sock pattern I just designed, why don't we talk about the yarn we've just put out this month?
Oh, yes, we have
We dropped some new colors. Well, actually, some of them were inspired by colors during the Advent calendar, because so many people responded positively to my daily revelations when I revealed the colorway and the inspiration behind it. There was a lot of people asking, well, how can I buy this? And you can't, but now you can.
The Advent calendar always has a mixture of colors that we do at other times, and then exclusive colorways, so that it is unique to the Advent calendar. That's part of the charm of our Advent calendar. And we also try and match up colorways with, we named the Advent calendar Merry Maritimes because we like to name the colorways for something that you can find or have heard of or is native to the Maritimes, right?
Yeah, and that way we want to connect not just our inspiration for why we chose that color or how we feel about our own home, but so that those who get the Advent calendar, whether they're local or Nova Scotian, or you're buying from away and it's a special treat, that you feel connected to the Maritimes in a really sort of niche way, because we do mention things that maybe might not be on the Visit Nova Scotia Now tourism page. You know what I mean?
And you know, it's also a great way to remember your times in the Maritimes if you've visited in the past. Some of the colors that we had was, this one here was evergreen.
Yes.
But it was inspired by all the forests, the pine forests here in...
Well, yes, that too. But when I was sharing this colorway during the month of December, I pointed out the Evergreen Winter Festival that takes place every year in Halifax over 3 or 4 weeks, and how they have the market where some even local vendors up here have a space down there, kiosks, and they have winter games like curling and different winter sports, and then they have uh, there's like a, is it music or are they showing movies? I don't know. There's a stage. There's all kinds of things that go into the Evergreen Festival.
I think part of the reason why you're a little confused is because the Evergreen Festival is also held in various different locations in Nova Scotia in a different, slightly different way. The New Glasgow Farmers Market has Evergreen Festival evenings, and they have fires that you can sit around. They have buskers, and they have other events that have to do with celebrating the season. So
Right. So in this way, our colors mean so much in the way that we tie them into what's going on here in the Maritimes.
this one here was it came as a main skein if people chose to add a main skein to their 25 gram minis, and this is called Silent Night.
And now it's available in both the full skeins and 50-gram skeins as well, as you see here.
It's a blue purple.
Yeah, it's indigo overdyed by logwood, or the other way around, correct?
Right.
And what's special about that, why we called it Silent Night, is because sort of homage to the Christmas trees that they construct here out of lobster
traps and buoys.
And on the buoys, they write the names of fishermen
that have been lost at sea,
so that they are honored on Christmas Day.
Yeah, it's a lovely thing, and they're gorgeous. The trees. There's a lot of effort put into them, and you find them at all the different little harbors and
I think
coves.
I think it started. I forget where it started exactly, but now it's just everywhere. Every little community does it now. They have their own version.
And this one was quite popular.
I love this one. People went crazy for it, and we only have 10 left. So let's talk about Purple Finch.
Yes, Purple Finch is dyed with lac and black hollyhocks.
Right.
So it was the first year that our garden here actually produced the flowers, because it's a biennial, which means that it only blooms every other year. So the plants that I got this blue-purple color from this year will not bloom next summer. I'm hoping the plants I planted this year will produce some color.
And there's these lovely, because it is a variegated skin, but also in nature up, there's lovely little bursts of raspberry tone down there. And it's actually known as a bird that looks like raspberries and cream or something, because it does have the dark feathers, especially on the wings, that are a grayish blue tone, but the head is like this raspberry red, and then the body of it sort of fades to a white or a pinky tone.
So this skein actually has some speckling on it as well. So very fun color to create.
And just to show you, if you're making a shawl or you want to do some color work, Bordeaux is just one of the many colors that we have in 50-gram skeins that looks really nice with that.
We do tend to make an effort to have all of our yarns work together quite nicely. Speaking
of which, we brought these out as sort of the special of the beginning of this year. We also brought back a colorway, a favorite from 2023 that just, demands more.
We've made this again and again, but each dye batch is quite unique in itself, whereas this one doesn't have as much of the green.
Right.
There have been variations with much more green.
And more like limey green too, and it depends on the base. So this is on our Echo, which again is the wool and recycled nylon, the merino wool. And it goes lovely with both Silent Night and Evergreen if you're doing some kind of faded shawl or cowl even, and you want some colors to pop.
That's a stretch.
I wouldn't go quite
No, I wouldn't do that. But these ones definitely.
These look lovely, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
So that is the newest colors to hit the website this year. Came out in the beginning of February. There were some pre-orders that have been shipped off, but now what is left on the website is what we have left until we dye more. But we're going to expand and dye more colors from the Advent calendar. If you like any of these, you're going to want to snatch them up while you can.
There may actually also be some other unique colorways because I tend to do
Yes, you do.
that.
So, should I talk about the socks now?
Sure.
You need test knitters for the pattern that you are currently wearing and just finished making. And I'm thinking that I've knit these multiple times now to get the pattern down. I don't think I need a test knitter.
I don't think you do
I'm
either.
ready to put out my latest sock pattern. This is, I'm calling it Marling Darling Sock or Slipper Sock. And it is using our naturally dyed Echo Merino, held 4 strands or 3 strands with 1 strand of mohair.
So
you're
definitely a chunky sock.
Yes.
What size
Aran,
needle?
chunky weight. I believe I did a 3.75,
Wow.
which is pretty big for a sock if you think about it.
That's true, yes. But you want a sock to be nice and tightly knit.
Yeah, and this makes it a little bit stiffer, right? If I had gone up a needle, I could have, of course, because of the weight of the yarn, but it wouldn't have been as stiff, and then it would have been sloppy and falling off your foot. So, despite the fact that it is larger yarn and a chunky sock, it does have a good structure to it. It's your basic top down with a heel flap and gusset, and sizes small to large. And what was I going to say? Oh, it's marling. So you're taking scrap yarn, or we suggest our minis from the Advent calendar.
And you kind of lead people through how to do the color changes,
Yes,
right?
I talk about
That's part of the charm
you
of
choose
the
your colors.
I think that's part of why the pattern is important.
Exactly. Because, you know, you could throw any scraps together, but it's not necessarily going to look cohesive. So I talk about how you choose your colors, and if you use 100 gram skein that runs all the way through, or if you want to use
The same
minis
mohair.
and scraps, maybe the same mohair. But I used 3 different mohairs in this, and you can't tell because I made sure that my peach tones were in every part, right? So playing through everything, no matter what other,
even in the toe.
no matter what other colors I worked with, I made sure that certain elements were repeated so that they looked cohesive, and that way it ends up looking like a gradient sock and not just a scrappy sock.
Right.
And even though they're not perfectly matched, they are, in that I chose to use the same tones. And so they're like a matched pair of socks. So
I got a pair for Christmas.
And yours were 100% replicated. They were matching.
Yeah, it was
socks.
amazing. Yeah.
And I do talk about that in the pattern, how you can make sure that you have increments of the same yarn set aside in a way that you can replicate the same sock again. Yeah.
Okay. Is that everything?
I think that's everything.
Wow.
Huh.
Oh, no.
No. Oh, that's right. We've been busy again. Oh, God, it's been a busy
It's been
time.
a really crazy time. We were away for a little while visiting family. My mom, and we spent a week with my mom back in Ontario. Then it's always hard to get back to work after you've been away.
Mm-hmm.
And then immediately we got hit with that big storm. So we've lost a little bit of time, and we've kind of forgotten what we've done when.
Right. It didn't help that all last week was, we were snowed in at the back of the house because of our steel roof. So it would have been 1.5 meters was actually 3 because everything came off the roof to settle on top of what was already there. And we had to shovel our way into the backyard. We couldn't open the gates to get in. And then we had to shovel. All the doors were snowed in. The one off the shop, or it's French
the patio
doors.
doors you could not see out of. They were completely
They're all glass French doors,
Yes.
which was a bit scary because you could see all the layers of snow and no daylight. So, so we've just been
shoveling.
Run through the mill and back. So, what did we forget?
The bags.
The bags.
And I was working on these prior to us even going away, and then I finished them off just the other week. So I don't know how to display these other than maybe just hold them like this.
Yeah.
So some of them are repeats, a lot of them aren't. I'll just do them one at a time. They're a little bit bigger than you're used to from us. I'm looking for the tape measure. They have an inside pocket. They're fully lined. They are a drawstring bag. This one is 13 by 13. Some of them are a little bit bigger. And because I dyed the fabric as well, they're all
That's really pretty.
one of a kind, really. This one actually has
eco prints on that one.
Yeah, this
some
one
leaf
has some-
imprints beneath the blossom of color on there.
Yeah.
Which
So
is the result of a nature wrap.
So, and then on the inside, they have a relatively nice sized pocket.
Why don't you turn that one inside out while I hold up the next one
Alright.
to distract them from what you're doing. I'm a magician. This is the next one.
And they do have a squared out bottom,
Mm-hmm.
which is 3 or 4 inches. I'm not sure.
All right, you go ahead and show the inside pocket.
So
So
this
you
one,
could even choose to have them inside out because that's lovely too.
now most of the inside pockets are not done with a contrasting fabric. This one just happens to have that as sort of a bonus. But
Right. This one is really pretty. There, it is abstract eco prints, so you can see the leaves and their indentations, the spine of the leaves, and the little bit of definition there as well. I really like that, but it is quite abstract. I love that all of your bags are like each a unique piece of artwork.
now there's 2 like this one that are similar, but because they are printed with the hollyhocks that finally blossomed,
Mm-hmm.
each bag is actually unique. You only get 1 print per flower.
And it again has a flat bottom to the bag, and these also have the inner pocket, which is nice to put your, say, your yarn snips and your tape measure and maybe your stitch markers or your stitch stoppers, right? Because it is a deep pocket that you won't
It's
lose
where
things
I
out of.
put things like my hand lotion, and if
Yeah.
I'm not taking a wallet, or I put my car keys in there, and maybe even my credit card.
Priorities,
Yes.
right?
So there's 2 like this, and then the other ones that I made, there's actually 3 of each of these ones.
These will be added to the website in the next shop update,
This
which
is,
should be later this week.
these are quite unique, and I love the that I've got it looks like flowers growing.
Yeah, it's like vines up the bag, and that is an imprint left by pressure put on it while you were dyeing it.
Yeah.
So
These
they're
are
fun. These are not exact replicas, but they are 3 of the same tones. So they'll be put on the website as one bag, and then it'll be like a mystery match. You don't know exactly which one you're getting, but each is more gorgeous than the last. So
and then there's one more color.
this one is for people who like a slightly more muted look. Like it has
Watercolor.
a watercolor wash to it. Yeah. That looks like a face to me. Now hold it up. You can't see it unless you look in the, see?
Oh
It's
yeah.
the nose and the mouth. It's not. They're flowers and imprints from other things that we've dyed. But it looks like somebody with either a halo or an afro to me.
And this looks like flowers to me at the bottom.
Oh yeah, it's
Like-
definitely a field of
Like the branches.
flower.
The
Yeah.
little flowers growing in the garden.
This
don't know.
one as well. You've got the same look there with the vine. It looks like vines growing up. Anyway, they're all abstract and they're all lovely, and they're going to be on the next shop update, which is later this week.
Yes.
It will be announced.
It always depends on how much nice sunlight Jasmine has to take pictures in.
Our ring light broke, and you know there's something better about natural lighting than the synthetic.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
We're lucky that we have a nice bright space that pictures can be taken in, if the weather cooperates.
and just finding the time. We've got so much going on, don't we?
Yeah.
So thanks for sitting with us today on Sip and Stitch. Did you sip at all?
I did.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah.
Mm,
Why, were you talking too much?
maybe. Once again, we are looking for test knitters, and you can apply through our website, the Contact Us section.
Yeah, and then we get an email, and we'll be able to correspond through email, and then we don't have to, we have the information, it's just a matter of emailing back.
Yeah, and then you put in all your contact details, even your phone number, in case we want to reach out the old-fashioned way. This week coming is our local knit night, this Thursday coming. The event can be found on our Facebook and on our link to it on our website under events. And then not this Thursday, but the one next is Maker Circle. In case you like watching us, but you want to interact more, it's a Zoom social where everyone gets to show off what they're working on and just have fun.
We talk about all kinds of things, not necessarily just knitting.
Right. You just come and see if
It's
it's
a
your
nice
cup
way
of tea.
to connect with other people and not need to worry about whether or not you can get out of the house because of the weather.
Or you don't live in Nova Scotia, but you still want to say hey. Right?
So they're both a lot of fun. It's nice to go to A1 Pizza and Waterview Restaurant and be able to socialize face to face. That's always nice. If you are so inclined, you can have a glass of wine or a cup of tea.
And the great thing about the Zoom social on the alternating Thursdays is that you can also have a cup of tea or a glass of wine, but you don't have to get out of your pajamas to do it.
Right. There's no judgment. Everybody's welcome.
That being said, we should probably mention that we are doing a new thing called Knit 1-on-1 or Knit 101 as it's on our website. And we now have a scheduling app where you can book a half-hour one-on-one instruction if you need help reading a pattern, correcting a mistake, learning new stitches. It's not just for beginners, it's for anyone who just wants a little advice, because we find that we get that sometimes, people stopping in the shop, and this way we will have one of us as an instructor dedicated to helping you, so that you get that time outside of just around shop hours.
Right. And part of the reason for that as well is that right now the shop hours themselves are by appointment or by chance. We're spending more time in our studios trying to get some ideas created, do some sewing or knitting. We're both developing some patterns and things, so we would like to know when you're coming so that we can be available. Sometimes we like to knit in our pajamas, and sometimes if I've got my hands in the dye pots or I'm sitting at the sewing machine, I don't hear the door. The studios are in the basement.
And I also have another job, so sometimes I'm not around, and it just helps us better schedule things in what is supposed to be our busy creative season.
Right. So
in order to book that appointment, you're going to go to our website, and on the home page, just scroll down past the About Us section with our picture, and then there's a book button, and it talks about coming in for an appointment.
And you can choose whether you want to just come in or if you'd like to come in for the knitting one-on-one. The appointments are in half-hour increments, but sometimes if you run over, that's okay.
Yep.
I don't know how the one works for appointments, but if you see that an appointment is not available for coming into the shop, that just means somebody else is already going to be here. So if you want to come at the same time, just come at the same time.
Well, no, give us a call first.
Right.
It could be that we are unavailable at that time. We do sort of section things off for ourselves.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, don't just show up. There's a messaging button on our website as well. In the bottom right-hand corner is a blue Facebook Messenger icon. If you're ever uncertain about how to find anything on the website or you want to book an appointment, that method, you can also just message us.
Mm-hmm. Or phone us.
Okay, basically you can get in touch with us any way you choose.
It's just easier if you just do it through the app. Can we be any more confusing?
Could you be? I'm like trying to tell them what to do, and you're like, or just do this, or just do that. Just turn up. What? No. Oh,
I'm sorry.
God, it's a headache working with her.
She has to live with
She's all like, we need to find a way to let people know when they can come by appointment. It's appointment only. So I create an entire calendar by which you can book a time. And I put it on the website as a really succinct thing, and she just says, just come whenever.
I'm trying to be accommodating. Listen to
Thanks,
Jasmine,
Mom.
don't listen to me.
Okay.
Thank-
Anyway.
Thank you. Thank
It
you
was
for
going so good too.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you for stopping by our Sip and Stitch. And if you made it this far, we appreciate you.
Oh yeah, we're super grateful.
Okay.
Anyway, be natural.
Be you. Bye for now.